Um, Hi Mel, how you going?
Yeah, good to see your face.
Good to
And
see you too. So you're in Darwin,
I am, yes. It's coming into the summer months. We don't really have four seasons here. It's either hot or really hot. Humidity, the build up, mango season going tropo. Looking
right?
forward to some rain. How about you? You're in Hawaii.
Yes, I'm in Hawaii,
Oh,
and we are moving from summer into winter right now. So what are we? We're in September at the moment. So I have noticed there's a little bit of humidity, but the weather's beautiful. And look, people are starting to holiday more. I've noticed a lot of Japanese tourists and also a lot of Canadian tourists, but the weather is beautiful here.
nice.
Hmm.
Lucky duck. It's
Yeah,
nice here too. Just
yeah,
so you know, well, you're from here, you've been
yeah,
here, so yeah, I haven't been to Hawaii, but maybe I'll make it soon.
yeah.
Fingers crossed, COVID. Fingers crossed.
We're here today, just to let everybody know that Mel and I met each other this year, and we're going to be doing some interviews both together and with some other people, hopefully, people that have had some adversity in their life, and are coming out the other side or have come out the other side and can share their experiences with us and with you, and in the hope that we can make things a little bit easier. We come across lots of people who feel alone or lonely, and I think a big part of coming out the other side, especially through some hard times, even through COVID times for that matter, is really connecting with some other people. What do you think, Mel?
I think so too. And you and I came about from just making that connection.
Mhm.
I was scared and didn't know what to expect when I came on Trojan's Trek, and then once I realised, well, I knew I wasn't alone. I know I'm not the only one. You know, who's had challenges in their lives and adversity, and been in the Defence Force, and like we both have, but I think for me, it's definitely having that, encouraging people to connect,
Yeah.
and with like-minded people. I mean, we might not be the sort of people that other people want to connect with, and that's totally cool. But for you and I, this is what we're doing because this is what we decided that needs to be done. So much more of it. There's so many people doing it, and there's nothing wrong with, the more positive stuff, the more connection is important, especially at the moment with everybody being so apart from their loved ones and feeling isolated and alone. But
Yeah.
just connection with like-minded people, and talking about not just the hard stuff and the bad stuff, but the really good stuff
Yeah.
that's happening and can happen, without being a positivity fairy. I'm not like that. I've lived, and I realise, and I know what life does and what it presents
You're a
to
realist.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And if I swear, sorry, I'm just being myself.
Yeah.
I just get really passionate, so yeah, oopsie. But we're not
So,
on TV, so
so I think we should start with introducing ourselves. This is our first recording. So a bit about you, Mel. How old are you? And well, actually, we don't need to start with how old you are, I guess. How about
I'm
we start with
31.
how about we start with just a really, really quick brief on, where you come from, where you grew up, and sort of what you did with your career and how you sort of happened to be where you are now. If you
Yeah,
can,
right. Okay.
really
So
briefly. Where did you grow
the
up?
short version of a really long story is that I was born in 1976, so you can work out my age.
Yep.
Born in Kiama in New South Wales. It's South Sydney on the coast.
Mhm.
Moved to the Gold Coast in the building boom early 80s with my father. He's a plumber. And we sort of moved around the Gold Coast and did all my schooling there and grew up there predominantly. Had a few different jobs, and then tried a few different things. And then 34, single mum, been through divorce and, you know, all that yucky stuff, I decided to join the army. Why not? Yeah, so I joined as a musician, full-time musician. Met some awesome people, did some awesome stuff,
And playing,
then I changed over.
What playing?
Flute, initially flute, and then piccolo, saxophone.
To join the army as a bandy, did you have to learn the flute prior to that?
Oh yeah, you have to audition and be to a certain standard. Yeah.
So when did you learn to play the flute, Mel?
I started in primary school.
Okay.
On the Gold Coast, started in 1985 when I was 9. Started before that on a recorder, as we all do, you know, squawking around the house and driving our parents nuts. But I actually could play the thing and made an effort to, and I realised that I wanted to play the flute or the French horn, but they didn't have any available, so I got a flute and I was happy with that and won heaps of stuff all over the country and competitions and been overseas, and it was fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and with the army as well. Yeah, went overseas with the army, army band in Tonga. That was pretty cool. And then I changed over to quartermaster, or supply and logistics, and that was interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. I met my husband in Townsville. He's in the army as well. We didn't meet at work. We met online.
Yep.
And decided to medically discharge. That was my choice. And then moved to Darwin. He was already posted here about 6 months ahead of me, and while I was discharging, and then came up to Darwin, discharged, went through my rehab, heard about Trojan's Trek, met you. Now I'm studying and nearly finished my diploma of counselling, and I'm working for an ex-service organisation.
Yeah.
And loving it. Yeah.
So you were studying counselling before I met you on Trojan's Trek, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What made you decide to study counselling?
I've always been the sort of person who people have always said, "Oh, Mel, can I talk to you?" You know, in the workplace, or my sister or other friends that I didn't work with. Taken up roles in the workplace like union delegate, where you do your training, industrial relations training on your workplace enterprise bargaining agreement, and you work with the management and the staff, and sort out any issues they might have with their pay or conditions and that sort of stuff. And then I was a music teacher, so kids was always come to me, and Miss Woodley, that was my surname, Miss Woodley, can I talk to you? And which was really, really nice. But even in the army, you know, I was sort of older than a few people in recruit training, and they'd want to come and talk to me. "Oh, can I talk to you about something?" "Yeah, sure. And I had an itch probably from about 2014 to study. I wanted to learn. I just wanted to learn something new, and counselling just came into my mind. And I asked a few people, "What would you think about? Do you think I'd make a good counsellor, or do you think I should do interior design?" They said, "Oh, I reckon you make a good counsellor." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So that gave me a gentle push, and then I did a vocational assessment as part of your rehabilitation process with DVA. And they found me suitable to do that. Good career, and not likely to go anywhere any soon. Well, you know, go away. Yeah, it's not a dead-end career. Yeah. What about you? Mel?
So starting with where I was born, I think my parents were living in Warwick in Queensland, and so that's where I was born. I believe my father grew up near and around that area when he was sort of an older teenager. So when I was 1, we moved back to near where my mum's side of the family are, which is Albury. For some reason, I believe there was a bit of a story behind that she couldn't find childcare in Albury, and she could only find it in Wodonga. So we lived in Albury, we went to childcare in Wodonga, and because we'd made friends there, we just went to school there. So really unusual situation, but we lived in Albury, and my sister and I did most of our schooling in Wodonga, so VCE. Partway through high school, I changed schools and finished my high schooling off in New South Wales. So I've got a sister. She's 4 years older than me. After I left home, my parents broke up. They both found another partner. I moved to Darwin with my other half. I think I met him at the end or the beginning of 1994. So most of our lives that we've been together, we've been in Darwin. We did a couple of years in Sydney, a couple of years in Catherine, and then back to Darwin. So at the moment we're in Hawaii. So this is our 3rd year here. COVID's been a bit sort of shaken things up a little bit. But I joined the Army when I was 20, I think I was 28, I think, and 26 or 28, I can't remember, 28 maybe. I did approximately 15 years in total. And so most of the units I was posted to were in Darwin. For the most part of the time that I was in, I was posted to infantry regiments, either 5 RAR or Norforce. And but yeah, had some other stints with CSR and One Aviation and 812 for a little while there. Wasn't posted there, but just helping out there. Did a stint over in Afghan for 9 months with 5 RAR. That was interesting. And then back to Australia. So I then was discharged in 2015. And since then, I've done a little bit of study with doing Bachelor of Exercise Sports Science. I've all but finished. I'm still looking to do my prac, which I've been having difficulty with since I've been in Hawaii. But at the moment, while I'm waiting to leave here and get my prac under my belt, I have been studying a diploma of counselling. So I'm doing that with AIPC, Australian Institute of
counsellors.
So what's the P? Psychological.
Professional.
That's it. Professional counsellors. Got it. I knew that.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, me too. And just got one more unit to finish off with CDU, Charles Darwin University, which is NT based, and then I've got a few to do with AIPC.
Just down the road from you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so that's where I was studying my Bachelor of Exercise Sports Science. I was studying with Charles Darwin University.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they have a really good online course. So yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. Yeah, help! I'm in a nutshell and I can't get out.
Mel and Mel.
Yeah,
it's a Mel and Mel show.
Right. So there's you, Mel, and your name is actually Melanie. And
Melanie,
you've been referring to me as Mel. My name's Melissa. Most of my family refer to me as Liz, and Mel usually does call me Liz. But when we're being facetious with each other, she refers to me as Mel.
Mel and Mel.
Yes.
Look at me.
Yes.
Yeah. So we met on Trojan's Trek, and we just clicked. We talked about the hard stuff. We talked about some really good stuff, and then it wasn't until I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months after the trek when we got in contact with each other. I can't remember how. And you said you were coming to Darwin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, come to Darwin. And from then, it's just snowballed into this massive ball of conversations about all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're together, we literally do not stop talking. We talk for 14 hours in a car.
Great.
Last month, people. I'm not joking. We were just driving around looking for places to where we could just hang out and camp with our families and that. And
my cheeks were hurting at the end.
I know.
My cheeks were hurting because I hadn't laughed.
I know. Yeah. So we were just talking about connection and our connection and other people, and the importance of connection and social activity and all that psychosocial stuff and positive stuff, and that there's not enough out there. Sure, you can, you know, talk about the hard stuff, but then bring it into the now. What do you want now? What do you want for your future? And we really are on the same page in that regard, hence we're both studying to be counsellors. But look, we are not here to say we are the gurus of this, that and other. We're just two women about the same age, give or take about 3 weeks, and that just want to encourage other people to connect, make a connection, talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about life.
Right.
Have a laugh.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And since we've discussed, doing this and doing some recordings, Mel, I've been paying attention to some things that I've been watching in the media. I'm seeing interviews with people or hearing about stories of people that have gone through some really hard stuff, really, really hard stuff, yet come out the other side. And I just think, those people would be so amazing to talk to. And so I'm really hoping that we can get a couple of, really hard hitters, some people, not even just hard hitters, just some people that have had some things go on in their lives, and get on here and talk and just show everyone, what you and I have finally figured out, and that is that you are not alone. And, there are so many other people out there that have shared similar things to you and have gone through hardships similar to you, have gone through traumas, have almost lost their lives, to that extent even, and they're still here and they're still going strong, and they've come out the other side, and things are hard and they can be hard, and it's okay to feel shit, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you're not alone. And I guess really that is the crux of, for me, why I want to do this. How about you, Mel?
Absolutely. And you mentioned trauma and nearly seeing the little light go out, but then there's all that other stuff in between, all that big life stuff that also brings challenges and good and bad stuff, life lessons, marriage, divorces, moving house, Defence Force. Everybody does a big move every now and then, and there are other people who do that too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we want to talk about all the stuff in between. Just hear about anybody else. If you've got a topic that you want to bring up or discuss, or someone that something you've read, or someone you'd love to hear from, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's collaborate and let's do this. So pretty exciting.
I'd love for people to leave some comments on how you think we could on down the bottom on how we could improve our interviews, who you'd like us to talk with, because we've thrown a couple of names around, and we've got a few friends that we'd like to interview as well, a few people that we are familiar with on a personal level, but then there are some others that we've sort of had a bit of a think that maybe we'd like to get them on.
Okay, well, I don't know how long that's been. Maybe we should wrap it up and go from there.
No problem.
Thanks, Mel. You're awesome.
You are too. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking the time, and we'll talk with you next time.
Yep, cool.